If you're not leveling up or seeing progress in something that you're putting a bunch of time into, it's probably because you're not doing this one thing. This one thing is the secret to leveling up. It's one of the most obvious things: reflection. Reflecting on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. This means that you can do more things right and less things wrong. That's the most basic way that you can explain reflection. But to dig a little deeper, we find that reflection is more a way to observe and reposition yourself and your focus. Back in the first few months of 2023, I started working out, and I had the same routine for 4 months. I stayed in the same position for 4 months. Those first few months of working out are supposed to be the months where you see the most progress, seeing as you're building and growing from basically nothing. And I made barely any progress, because I didn't reflect on my workouts to see where I was going wrong and where I was going right. Then, after 4 months of working out and not seeing much progress at all, I observed, I reflected, I looked at what I was doing, and I figured out what I was doing wrong and what I was doing right. I also figured out that most of what I was doing was wrong. Then, for the next 4 months of training, after having repositioned myself, I did the same thing. I didn't reflect on what I was doing. So, for that first month, I saw progress, but for the rest of the time, I was still doing the same things, and not reflecting and not adapting. I was doing the same things for 4 more months. I was not reflecting and I was not adapting. Then, after 4 months of this, I finally reflected. I finally readapted, and I finally stopped my mistake. Now, since then, which has been a little over 6 months, I've constantly been reflecting and observing my workouts to make progress. I've constantly been observing what I'm doing wrong and observing what I'm doing right, reflecting and repositioning myself every day, every week, and every month to better myself and to better my workouts. And since then, I've seen so much more progress in my workouts. Now, I've also used this one tactic in so many different things, whether it be YouTube, working out, mindset training, and so many other things. So that's a little story of how I've used reflection in my life and how I've been able to reflect and adapt and reposition myself to make more progress. But I'll explain how you can reflect and how you can use reflection But now I'll explain how you can use reflection to adapt and reposition yourself in whatever you are currently doing. So all you have to do is observe what you're currently doing and what you were doing in the past. It could be a week in the past, a month in the past, or 5 years in the past. But what you have to do is look at what you've been doing for the past time frame that you've chosen and see how much progress you've made. If you haven't made much progress, then what you need to do is readapt and look for something new. Figure out what you're doing wrong and figure out how you can do something different to be doing the things right. If you have been making progress, figure out how you can lean more into that and how you can do that thing and make that thing better. So guys, that is the art of reflecting, how I've reflected, a story of how I use reflection in my life and how you can reflect and make progress in your life using this skill. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you think this video was worth it and have a good productive day. I'll see you guys in the next video.